What's up, world? Lee here with Sticks, Strings, and Other Things, my teeny tiny little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week to chit-chat with you about all of the crafty things that I've been getting my hands onto. Today is September 3rd. Yes, I said September. It is September. September 3rd, and this is episode 92. I'm coming to you from it's gonna get hot, Pacific Northwest. I knew it was false fall. I knew it was. But it's going to be like 90 in a couple days. I don't do 90. I don't live in a town where we do 90. I live in the Pacific Northwest for a reason. And my hair is falling out, so I'll just take it down. I live in the Pacific Northwest for a reason, and that reason is clouds and not hot. But summer is going to go out with a scream, making us all scream. Anyhow, enough about the weather. I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest where it is going to be too warm. Let's just leave it there. I have a couple finishes for you today. I have some stitching. I have some knitting. I have some plans. I have some stash. I have the regular is what I'm saying. So welcome back, and I hope you enjoy. First off, what am I wearing? I am wearing my Aster tee. The Aster tee is by fill in the blank because I have forgotten. This is knit up using Serial Knitter Dye House in their Echo Lake Silk Tweed base. This was the color Tourmaline, and this was the color Jamminess. And it's quite lovely. So it's just cute little summer top. And it is like a silk and a mohair and a wool mix. I don't remember exactly. If I'm really lucky, the ball band that is sitting right here is going to be one of the Echo Lake tweeds. It is. I did not plan that. I was just lazy cleaning up a while ago. Echo Lake tweed is a 52% mulberry silk, 24% super carried mohair, 20% fine merino, 4% viscose. It is a lovely top. I quite like it. I made it rather cropped. You can't see that. I'm not standing up high enough to do that. It is a little cropped. It goes exactly to my actual waist, you know, the bendy bit is. I quite like it. It's very drapey, it's very soft, it's very silky, and I love it. What else do I start with? I start with tea, because tea makes the world go round. And living in my happy, spooky mug is, what is living in here? Oh, right. This is Creme Brulee Green, and it is a tea I got from a tea store in Bozeman, Montana when I was there this summer. It is very good, and I'm already halfway through this cup. And it is a very tasty green tea. Right. Oh yeah, it's real good. Okay, let's get into the stuff. I said I had some finishes for you. I do. One is fully finished. It is a knitted project, and I say fully finished because it is washed and blocked. All the ends are trimmed. What am I talking about? Well, I decided that I needed to finish one of my Stephen West shawls that were on the needle. I have two. Well, had two. One is last year's Mystery Knit Along, which I still have not finished. And the other was the Glittering Snowscape shawl, which I now have finished. It is washed, it is blocked, all of the ends are trimmed, and she is beautiful. She is so beautiful. Look at this. Isn't she gorgeous? I mean, she's stunning. Somewhere in here, I left my, there it is. This little marker was where it was last time I showed you, so I finished all the rest of the border, and then washed and blocked. And she is going to be so pretty. Look at her. Look at her. Look at the details. I'm going to go very, very slow. So we have all this lovely texture. And then we have this beautiful lace, followed by more texture, more lace, more texture, more lace, and then that end. Oh, she's so good. And this base, which is the one I could never pronounce because I don't know how to pronounce what it was. It was a single, and so this thing is, look at the drape. I mean, look at the drape. You can see the drape. It's just 100% wool. And the drape is drapey for days. I love it. It is so beautiful. So this is my FFO. Because I figured October is coming. And I need to not have 2 Stephen West shells on the go when I start this year's Mystery Knit Along. Because I will be starting this year's Mystery Knit Along. But that'll be later in plans. So there is my only fully finished object. I do have a finished two sort of finished objects. Let me find them both. Where's the one? One moment, please. Alright, I'm back. I did some cleaning up in here, and evidently I cleaned a little too well, and I put away my finish into the box where I need to fully finish things. Oops. I finished my, oh, let me put it on a board. Really unprepared. Really, no, I'm not. It's morning, it's somewhat early, and my brain has not woken up. I've only had half a cup of tea, as you saw. This finish was my 100 stitches a day project. I finally did finish it. And there we go. I will cut you. This is by Lucy Beam, and I did it with the called for threads on a Bestitch Me fabric called something coconut. It's a 40 count. And there we go. All the details. Do. I will cut you. Snip, snip, snip. Eventually, this will become framed, and it will go in my craft room, because that would be appropriate. And now I can actually go back into the bin where I had already put it. Oops. Coconut shell. That's what it is. Coconut shell. Like, where did that go? My second finish, which is not fully finished, is a project I have done for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, which is coming up quickly, so I need to do the fully finishing soon. I saw, I don't remember where, it was on somebody's YouTube channel. They were showing a bunch of really cool fall freebie things by, what was the name of them? Old Barn Stitching. And so I downloaded it. I grabbed my Cottage Garden threads that I purchased last year that were all Halloween-y colors, and I decided to start a little pin pillow, or pillow. I have not finished it yet. Let's try and do it right side up. There we go. It helps. As you can see, I still have all the fabric. This is a bit from the coconut shell that was left over from I Will Cut You. So there's an A. I figure it can stand for autumn, or it can stand for acorn and threads. And then I have on the bottom Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit 2024. So there is my small. I just need to turn it into a small by going over to my sewing machine and turning it into a thing. And yeah, I know I was working on a different project. That project was a lot bigger than I thought it was, and I just kept working and working and working and working and working and working on it, and it wasn't getting any closer to finished. So finally I was all fine, I will just get something a little bit smaller, and this whipped up in like 2 days. So let me get it a little closer. Oh, I wish you could see the leaves I have here. They are so fun, but it's kind of blowing them out. I probably will not, no, I know I won't. I will not be showing you that in person again. I will try and take a picture of it after it is fully finished, because I will have gone to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit by the time I film again. So there's that. I just need to fully finish it. And those are the only finishes I have. Technically, no. I swear there's something else I finished and I don't know what it is. But I don't remember. It's gone. Oop, disparo. So let's get into the whips. Oh, I have whips. I could not settle on anything in the last couple of weeks. And so I worked on a lot of different things. First, I will show you my wave biscornu and how far it got before I decided this was not going to be my small. The wave biscornu is by like Trina Miskatova. I got it off of Etsy, and there's where she got to. Where I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. So I still need to fill in all of these empty areas with this dark blue color to fill in the waves. Then I need to put a sun here. Then I still need to do the back here with all four corners, which have little wave sun things in them. It will be beautiful. I will finish it, but it will not be for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. It will be beautiful, and it is lovely. It was too big. It was too much for me personally to get done. We learn. I wasn't sure I even was going to do a small, so a juke and a move is perfectly fine. Oh, and my A that I did for, don't mind the geese. They're just flying past. The A that I did for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, the little pillow that I did, that was my start 39 for the year. I do love this. It is very pretty. And once it is turned into a biscornu, I will love it. Just, it will be for another day. Oh, and these are the Roxy flosses that I am using for that biscornu. This will be the sun, and it's going to be so pretty. Oh, I got this colors because it somewhat matches the blue in here, and it is going to be the color that I use to do the backstitch and sew it together. I didn't want to use Roxy Floss for that. I can use DMC for that. Thank you very much. I don't want to waste my Roxy on essentially a seam. At least that's how I felt. So that's floss down. That's what this skein is for. So there is my wave biscornu, which will just now be my wave biscornu as opposed to a gift for somebody else. I'm greedy, I guess. No, it was just too big. It was just too big. So that was one of my whips. Another one of my whips living in here. If you know, you know. This is an Evertote bag, and this is the one with the moths on it. So yes, this was Caroline's birthday salve. This is Weeds and Wildflowers by the Artsy Housewife. I know everybody's been playing with this one because it's gorgeous. How could you not? Here are, oh, so pretty threads. They're a mess, but the threads are lovely colors. And I pulled this out to start working on it again because I had a minuscule start, and I have made some decent progress. Let me just fold that back like that. Ah, yes. So I had just this tiny bit of corner done. I had like these two and these two, and that was it when I pulled this out. And I was like, oh, it's beautiful, so I'd like to get more done on it. And so I have finished the top border completely. I've worked down and around the other side and the bottom. I just haven't put the flowers in on these. Then I decided I wanted to do the moon, and then I felt it needed a flower. And this was the kit. So this is the 40 count buttercream, and there is the beautiful needle minder. I love that. And then I put it away. I hope to get it out and work on it some more this year. We'll see. But oh, it is just so pretty. I mean, just look at those colors. I can't wait to get to the moth and then that beautiful, beautiful giant flower. But I want to fill in those flowers and then go down that side. Do my borders before I get to the really, really fun stuff. Yeah. Beautiful piece. Loving it. The fabric is very, very yellow. I am not a yellow fan, but it is kind of working on the weeds and wildflowers. It kind of looks like a late summer day. It's the kind of yellow it makes me think of. Is that yellow you get in the late summer and the afternoon, that weird yellow. So that was one of my whips. And yes, since I finished my, what's the word, 100 Stitches a Day project, I had to pull out a new 100 Stitches a Day project, and it lives in here. It's another Evertote bag. I am heavy in Evertote bags today. I just zipped it. Let's unzip it. Living in here is Winter Comes by Heartstring Samplery. I am doing the large black version. It's so pretty. Pull out the threads. These are all the called for threads. Lots of Weeks Dye Works. When I had worked on this before, I worked on it a chunk. I did all the top, and then I got tired of it because it was 100 Stitches a Day project when I did that, because I was an idiot and thought it was farther along, and it wasn't. And so I got a certain distance away, and then I put it away, and I was like, fine, when it gets spun again, I will bring it back out and I will work on it again. Well, it got spun again, and I pulled it out and I started doing 100 Stitches a Day. And I did the smokestacks for the house. The smokestacks, they're called, they're not smokestacks, they're chimneys. I did the chimneys for the house and had done a little bit of the roof, and then I was doing 100 Stitches a Day, and I did like 5-6 days. I was like, this house is never going to end if I continue doing this, and I really wanted to finish the house. So I said, heck with 100 Stitches a Day, I'm going to finish the house, and then after I film again, I will go back to 100 Stitches a Day. And that's what I did. Look at that house. Oh, isn't she beautiful? Oh, I love her. I love that house so much. In real life, you can see this green a lot better. So the green is the door and the frames of the windows. It's kind of not showing up very well on the camera, but oh, it is stunning in person. So pretty. So yes, I just went wild and decided I needed to finish this house, and so I did. Yep. Finished the house. I had to. It was going to take forever. I will likely do something similar when I get to the snowfield. I'm going to call it a snowfield because it is not a yard. It'll be this, this portion is the portion I'm working on the large piece. This snowfield is huge. I mean, that's a lot of snow. So I will likely do the same thing when I get to that point. So good. So after today, I will be going back to doing this 100 Stitches a Day, and I'm probably going to start working. Ooh, there's fluffies on it. Don't mind me. There's fluffies on it. Anyhow, I know what those fluffs are from. They're from my Cumulus blouse because that thing's shedding like a beast. Once it's done and washed, it'll be fine. I had this next to me when I was working on my blouse, and floof, got everywhere. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's get back to this piece. It's beautiful. I'm using all the called for threads. I am doing this 2/2 on a, I think it's a 32 count fabric, and I am adoring it. But yeah, when I get back to it, I'm going to do the border is the next part I'm going to do. And then there's a tree over here with a squirrel in it. That's what this little bit is, if you can see it. It's a little tiny piece of brown right here. I'd finished the roof and I had just a little bit left of brown on that, and I could count over to there, so I just finished the thread. So pretty. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. But yeah, I'm going to finish the border. That's the next thing I'm going to be working on for this one, for my 100 Stitches a Day. And then I'll finish the animals, and then I will likely just say heck with it and just not care about 100 Stitches a Day while I do the snowfield, because that's a lot of snow. And I'm starting to realize something. Silk and mohair is warm. Okay. Silk and mohair is warm. This shirt is not going to be continued to be worn today. I'm going to die if I do. I want to wear my knits. I want it to be fall, but it's not. It's not. It's not yet. So that was Weeds and Wildflowers. Where is Plants and Petrichor? I'm hiding it behind my box, my thing, which I'm not even using, so I'll just move it. Living in here, because I dug out a spooky bag for it, because I wanted it to be in a spooky bag, though I guess Poe should probably be in here. Doesn't matter. Living in here is Plants and Petrichor. The next portion came out. This is a stitch along by Fine Frog Stitching. My threads are very poorly shoved into this bag here, or this box here. But the next portion did come out. And I was right. It was a mug and books. So I did my mug and my books. The fabric is a 32 count unnamed by Bestitch Me. I'm doing this 2/2 with all of the called for DMC, which is a disaster in that box. But yes, I was right. Here's my mug of tea and my books. While I watch the rainstorm outside. Every Friday, a piece comes out. If they're all this teeny, that will be simple to get done, and I'm okay with that. I like that. It was very easy to do. It was a couple hundred stitches, and I had that piece done, and I think it looks great. I still think this is going to be a plant up here with some of the trailing vine leaves down there. No clue what's going to be in here or on any of the shelves. But this might be a fireplace. I don't know. We will find out. All I know is this is sweet. I'm very much enjoying it, and I was right. Which, it always feels good when you're right. And this is a huge piece of fabric. Huge piece of fabric. So when I finish this, I will have tons and tons left to play with, because this fabric is really, really pretty. No clue what I'll put on it, but this is looking lovely. So there is Plants and Petrichor. Another whip I was working on was in my stitching, which is way over here. Stitching, I mean my knitting. Living in here, my little fox bag, and I don't remember who the maker of this is, and they didn't put a label, so I don't remember, which is sad. Living in here is my Cumulus blouse. This is by Petite Knit. I have worked a little bit more on it, and then this week it's not going to be touched at all because it's going to be warm. What have I done? I have done the I-cord bind off for the neck so that I knew exactly where it fell on the body, where it fit on the body, so that I knew exactly how long my arm needed to be. Yes, I finished one whole sleeve. That is where I was last time, so I have finished that sleeve, and then I picked up and did the I-cord edging for the neck. This is an oversized, slightly oversized, a little more oversized than I wanted it to be, because evidently measuring yourself is difficult, and I measured myself a little wrong, or maybe I was wearing a very, very perky bra. I don't know, but my bust measurement was about 2 inches bigger than I am, so this is a little bit bigger than it should be. I think it'll still work fabulously. I'm loving this. It is so pretty. It feels like a teddy bear. It's going to be great to just throw on. I will attempt to wear it to work, and I'll just always have to make sure that whatever I'm wearing underneath, because it does need, usually, I think it will almost always need something underneath, that it will be easy to wear just that, because I think this is going to be too warm for me to wear at work. It'll be great at home, though. Again, this is Petite Knit. I am doing the size, I think, 4 I would have to double check that. I'm not 100% sure. I did go up a needle size to get gauge because I am a tight knitter. And I am using a Thought to Threads Surrey Alpaca in the colorway Sea Pebble. I did go down 2 needle sizes for my neck I-cord because that neck felt really, really huge. When I had finished the garment, it felt ginormous. So I knew I wanted to cinch it up quite a bit, and I did that by doing the I-cord a bit tight, and that was appropriate. I think it pulled it up perfectly a good amount, and I am very happy with it. And I think if I would have tried to go tighter, it would buckle on the sides. It isn't, it just needs to be blocked. I wish you guys could feel this. I really do. I mean, look at the fluff. Look at that level of fluff. It is wild. Just wild. And this is just Surrey Alpaca. There's nothing else in this. There is the label for Thought to Thread. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's just a simple raglan, but whew, floof, floof, floof for days. And so far, this is my second ball. I did crack into a third so that I could do the I-cord without messing with things because I hadn't finished the first sleeve when I did the I-cord, so I caked up another ball to do that. But I have a feeling this may finish my second sleeve. So it'll have only taken 2 skeins at my size of floof, which is absolutely amazing. This is an amazing little thing. So you can pull this off. There's a clip-on wrist holder, so you can walk around and knit if you need to, or you can magnet it onto the base and it spins as you knit. It's very convenient, and because it has nubbies on the bottom, it doesn't fall off whatever table you have it on. This is from Twice Sheared Sheep, and I have been using this while I knit my sleeves, and I have been finding it quite handy. That's just living in there too. So hopefully when it gets a little warmer, or not warmer, when it gets a little cooler, I will be able to pull this out again to finish the second sleeve, because that's all I need to do. That's it, second sleeve, which will only take a couple of days. I take a lot more breaks when I'm working on sleeves because I put them on a small needle. Let me show you. Let me show, because the needle is in here. I use the ChiaoGoo large needle short cord bundle. I don't know what it's called, but it is the case that has up to the size 8 needles. And that way you can just go roundy, roundy, roundy knitting when you're knitting your sleeve. You do have to watch out. You do have to watch out because your tension can change, your gauge can change when you're working on a smaller needle. Most people get tighter. Not everyone, but most people get tighter when they're working on a smaller gauge. I'm okay, so I just stayed with the size 8 needle. If there is a slight adjustment, I don't see it from where I picked up, so I don't care. But these hurt my hands. The small circumference and the small needles, they hurt my hands, so I have to take more breaks. And so it takes me a little bit longer if I weren't working on such a small needle. I didn't want to do magic loop. I was worried about it showing a seam, so I decided to do small. I'd probably be able to get the sleeve done in one day if it weren't for the small cable, but I would rather take a few extra breaks, take a couple extra days, and not have a seam. I wasn't sure about my tension doing magic loop while working with Surrey, so I figured I would take precautions. Anyhow, once it's cooler, I can pull this out, finish that sleeve, wash and block, the lovely teddy bear sweater. And my Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit will be finished. It's getting there. It is getting there, and it makes me happy. What else have I worked on? I think that was all of my, yes, that was all of my whips. So now you get to see all my new starts. 50 by 50, right? I had to start a few new things. Also, September is coming. And now it's here. So sampler September. Also, yeah. So let's start with my first of those starts, which was my Haunted Library, because I've been wanting to start this and wanting to start this and wanting to start this so bad. My Haunted Library is living in my shining bag. Yes, my shining bag. Why? It's an author. Anyhow, this is where I decided to have my thing live. Here are the threads. They're all the DMCs. They are on the Atom Heart floss drops in a pretty red color. I don't remember what it was called. And here is my pathetic and sad start. That's it. This is on a 40 count Bestitch Me. It is coconut shell. I thought it would be a very nice color for this particular piece. I'm doing it 1/2, and that's all I did. That's it. I am choosing to do this in the same order as the releases came out when it was originally a stitch along. I did purchase it while it was a stitch along, didn't start it, and here we are, 3 years later. 3 years later, she starts it. It's fine. It's fine. But I've been wanting to start this so much, so I finally did it. And barely worked on it. But it is started. It's still on the Q snaps because I still want to work on it. It may not happen this month. I probably should put it away for this month and maybe pull it out next month. Haunted Library, October, Halloween. It could work. We'll see. And that is my needle minder, because of course it is. I mean, Haunted Library. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of stitches. But I'm so happy to have finally started it, and I can get this one going. Lola Crow, in case you don't know who Haunted Library is by. So I need to do this one, and I need to do the Greenhouse of Oddities, and then I need to do the aquarium that just finished, which is stunning. So I need to get like 3 of them done before she releases the next one. It's not going to happen, but a girl can dream. So that was start 38 for the year. I already showed you 39 because that was my small for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Start 40 for the year is living in here because I couldn't find another Halloween bag. And my sister is the reason I started this one. So it's living in the bag my sister gave me. This is 31 Days of Poe by Witch's Garden Crafts. I did buy the suggested thread, I mean, of course I got the threads. They're all DMC. I meant fabric. I did get the suggested fabric, which is a 28 count Eclipse by Witch's Garden Crafts. And the first portion has been released. It is the frames for the entire piece, and then in October, a piece will be released every single day. Hence the term or the name, 31 Stitches of Poe. I have finished the frames. So pretty! I love it. I love the frames. They are so pretty. And I cannot wait to see what goes in them. This fabric is really thick. It is a very dense, thick, beefy fabric. If I was an in-hand stitcher, I don't know what I would think of it, but I'm not. I put everything in a Q-snap and put it in a frame, so I don't care. But it is a dense fabric. It is so weird. It almost feels like thin denim. Like, it is. She's a chunk. She's a chunk, but beautiful, beautiful color. Yep, there's all my frames. Now to see what goes in them. 31 days of faux. I'm really excited. Thank you, Susie. Did I need another start? Well, technically yes, and technically no. Technically yes. Thank you. She just mentioned it. I was like, well, I haven't heard of it, and off I went and purchased it. And now, here I sit. So good. Look at those. I loved it. And hopefully I don't need to worry about anything being on this side. Hopefully that's actually the stitch count. Yeah. I think so. There should be. Can't wait. Which one do you think's going to hold the raven? There's got to be a raven. We all know there's going to be a raven. It's 31 days of Poe. There is a raven somewhere in here. And a bell. There's got to be a bell. Because the tintinnabulation of the bells. Bells, 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 bells. I like Poe. Can't wait. Unless they're only going to stick with more of the stories, in which case you're still going to get a crow. Raven, not crow. You're still going to get a raven because you can't have Poe and not have a raven. You just can't do it. I swear. Not possible. So that is living in here. And we'll get worked on again in October when the releases start coming out. Okay, I'm running out of places. I have one last start because it is September. And my plan was to start 2. Count them. 1, 2, 2. Not 2. This would be 4. 2, 2, 2. However you want to do 2. I'm starting 2 samplers that I know of this month. I decided I needed to start with Evertote's Sampler of the Month project. I told you, it's an Evertote heavy day, at least in bags and projects. Evertote last year did Sampler September, and they did a sampler with Maximum Cross Stitch. She did September's Revenge, and I absolutely loved it. And then I saw what this one was going to be from Maximum Cross Stitch. She did 2 this year. One is a reproduction, and one is her own thing. And I liked September's Revenge last time, so I stuck with the non-sampler, non-reproduction sampler. I wanted to keep with the original sampler, so I did September's Return this time, which is this one. So I've started this. I started this yesterday. I started this yesterday on Crafts and Books, which is a Facebook group by Beth. Don't remember her last name. And just blanked on her YouTube channel. Starts with an A. Steadfast Stitcher. She had a Zoom call yesterday, and I started this on there with them and worked on this for a little while I was on that Zoom call. And for me, at least, that Zoom call was very productive because, let me show you how far I got. I bought the kit from Evertote. So this is Roxy Floss, and it is a 40 count Roxy Panettone linen. It came with a bag, which matches the look of that. And let me show you the threads, because they are autumn in a thread bundle. Look at those beautiful, beautiful autumn threads. I mean, look at that. That just screams autumn. Screams autumn. My plan is to finish this month. And considering how I did in one day, I think my hope of being able to finish it in a week-ish might actually be true. There it is. Oh, it's so good. So good. So this boob here is just because I put it in my Q-snap poorly. It's actually straight. So I've started the border, got it around to here, and then this is as big as it is. That's it. That's it. It fits right in here. Barely. Probably should. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know my details of how I deal with my Q-snaps. That is unnecessary. Very unnecessary. You don't need that. So this is my start 41 of the year. Yesterday I think I said it was start 40, but that was because I forgot about 31 stitches of Poe. This is start 41. This is the first page because the pages are huge. I mean, the symbols on them are huge, so the pages are very easy to see. I can not see them with my glasses off, but they are very, very clear, which I do like. There we go. So I have one of the little houses here. I have the roof started of another little house. And then I decided I wanted to put in all of the outlines for the hills so that I know how big it is. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to do that for the top. Then I'm going to finish the frame. In a perfect world, that is where I would get today. Today I would finish outlining the hills and finish the entirety of the frame. And then I can go back and probably do the alphabet after that. And then the houses. And then I can get into the hills with all their fun patterns. It's my favorite part, so I'm going to hold off on doing it. I'm going to do all the boring parts first. Okay, they're not really that boring because the colors are beautiful. So yeah, there it is. Loving it. It's so good. And I'm hoping to get a lot done on it. Like I said, I want to finish it this month. If I can get huge chunks of it done every single day, I will maybe finish it this month. This week. This month definitely. This week, maybe. And by week, I mean through Sunday. Through Sunday. I don't know. Can she do it? This is one day's work. It's possible. It's probably more stitching than I think it is. It probably is. But I'm still going to try it because I'm mad. Anyhow, that lives in there. And I cannot wait to get back to it. I do still need to wind up the yarn for the socks and start those. I will probably wind those up after I film here so that I can start them while I'm doing my editing, because knitting on socks is so easy. I can do that while I edit. And that is everything I worked on. No, it's not. I lie. I was going to say that's everything I worked on, but I'm a lying liar who lies a lot. I have one last start. It is knitting. It is living in this lovely, huge, gorgeous, beautiful, amazing Fat Squirrel fiber bag. I am so mad I missed out on one of her bags for her Halloween release that she just had. She had this one with skulls with snakes. Oh, it was so Halloween-y, and I was just too late. I got on that. I got on when I was able to get onto the computer to see if she had any, and she didn't. She'd already sold out of that one. Oh, curses! It was such a great fabric. Anyway, this is also Fat Squirrel fiber. I love her bags so much. They are just great, and they're huge. They're huge. It's like 2 heads could fit in here. More than 2 heads. I swear. Living in here is a shawl that I started because I wanted to. This is the Recollection wrap by, I will fill in the blank here because I do not remember who it's by. It is using Recollection, which is a yarn from Farmer's Daughters Fibers. And here is the beginning of the wrap. It's just a fun, stripy wrap. You hold 2 colors together and you change them throughout. So these were colors 1 and 2, and this was, I think, 2 and 3, and then 3 and 4. And now I'm at 4 and 5. And oh, you can't even see what color. That's a green. There you go. That's a green. So there's 7 colors. And that is the beginning. I am almost done with section 1. The end of this green-brown stripe section will be the end of section 1, and I will move on to section 2. Let me show you the colors. I don't know all the names of them or the orders because I tucked them in there. Here's one of the colors. Here's the green that I'm currently working on. So these are my 2 current colors. Isn't that a gorgeous color? So good. This was color 1, and it was called, color 1 was called J. Rankin. That's the only one I put the label that way for, and then realized it's going to fall off and I'm not going to know which color is which. So then they all went inside after that. So this was the first color. It's a lovely purple. Here's this gorgeous ochre. Navy blue. Again, these are not their actual color names. I don't know what they're called. I don't know their actual names. I'd have to look them up again. I will tell you all that at a later point, or if you really care, I can tell you in an email, or if you ask the question down in the comment section, I can tell you there. Or if I'm feeling really, really super rambunctious, I will put them as a label underneath while I'm talking about them and holding them up. Don't hold your breath for that one though. And then, I know this one, because I've used this color before. This is their color York. And you use their fibers a lot. You learn some of the names. This is York. So those are the 7 colors that will be in this shawl. It's knitting up really fast, and I do love this base. It is a non-superwash. It's just so squishy, and it's pretty. Going to be nice and simple. It's going to be this nice big wrap. And I just love the colors. Oops, let's get all the threads back in there. Threads, they're yarns, whatever. Is it a little bit of overkill, this bag? Yeah, it is. Don't care. Wanted to use the bag because it's pretty. So that is the recollection wrap that I started. It was on my Make 9 list this year for knitting. So I'm finally starting it in August, end of August. My Cumulus blouse was also on my Make 9. So hey, my Make 9, I might get 2 of the projects done off of my Make 9 list. We'll see if I get any others. I don't know. I don't know if I will. But at least I've started and I'm getting somewhere on 2 of them. Oh, I need to be, oh, my glittering snowscape. My glittering snowscape was on my Make 9 and I finished it. So I may get 3 things off of my Make 9. So a third of it done. And that's it. Could be how that goes this year. Hard to say. I need to be wiser about my Make 9 next year, I think. Anyhow. Now, that is all of my whips. Whew. Fantastic, isn't it? It was so great, so great. Now let's get into plans. Plans. All right, what are my plans? Well, I've started a couple stitch-alongs. The Fine Frog stitch-along for Plants and Petrichor, that comes out every single Friday. That one seems to be really small releases, so I don't see there being a problem keeping up with that one, and I plan to do so to get it finished. Oh goodness, I don't remember how many releases it has or when the last release is. I just know it's pretty lengthy time frame wise. I think it's sometime in November. I could be wrong about that though, so do not trust me. Go look it up. It's a lovely stitch along if you can still join it, which I'm sure you can. You should, because it's fun. And so I'll be able to keep up with that one. When October arrives, I will deal with October. When October comes, I will be filming at least once more this month. So who cares about October right now? We will pretend it doesn't exist. Except how Halloween is coming and we want the spooky season. Okay, besides that, in crafting, we're discussing crafting right now. Plans for crafting. I want to finish my recollection wrap. If it gets cold enough, I will finish that second sleeve on my Cumulus blouse. And then I will go back to my Love Note and finish my Love Note sweater as well, because that is also a floofy sweater that needs to get worked on. And that will be fantastic. So those are some of my knitting. I want to start my socks for Sampler September knitting and get those socks done, because the colors are so autumnal. They make me happy. They make my heart sing. I have a new work project. They are socks for my partner, and I'm moving well on them. Not showing them today because I didn't think about grabbing it. I would like to get more done on my September's return, which I am loving, so I'm going to try and get that finished before I even film next. My next sampler that I will be starting is Cerci and Gierci by Modern Folk Embroidery. It is ginormous. It is the huge sampler I got when I went to Jacob Palooza, and I figured it would be a great sampler to start for this Sampler September, or back to school if it's being done this year. I don't know, but either way, that is the one that I would be using for both prompts of Sampler September and BAP to school, because it is a sampler and it is a BAP. So perfect meeting of the worlds there, and that is my next start for Sampler September. I'm going to be starting one of the projects at Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit when I go in 2 weeks, because I want to start one of them. I don't know which one it'll be because I don't know what they're going to look like. And if they're both drop dead gorgeous, which is a strong possibility considering it's Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut, I will just have to flip a coin and decide which one I'm starting, because I'm only allowing myself to start one of them. One. I hope only one. And yeah, I need to fully finish my thing for my small for Pinwis. Pinwis just sounds weird, so I just say all the words Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. For some reason, my brain would rather say it than Pinwis. I don't know why. Whatever. Anyhow, I'm going to grab something real quick, and I will be right back. The grabbing was the cat, because evidently I didn't shut the door completely, and the cat just opened it. So the grabbing was getting the cat back out. You do what you have to do. I have way too much out here, and they've been digging into my yarn, so they are not allowed into the craft room anymore until they learn to behave themselves, or I learn to hide my yarn better. One or the other. Easier just to make the cats go away than hide my yarn better. Anyhow, where was I? Plans. That's where I was. Plans. That's some decent plans for the next 2 weeks. If I was really, really good, if it's too hot for me to do my Cumulus and or my Love Note, the recollection wrap is just zooming off my needles. A pair of socks is going to zoom off my needles as well. What I really should do is pull back out my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along from last year and finish it, because I am going to be doing the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along this year. So that will be coming out in October. I am doing, it's a 2-color project this year, and I am doing grays because I've decided to embrace my dark colors right now. I've been trying to with my knitting to do more bright colors because they're fun to work with, but I don't always wear them, and so I've decided, no, I'm just gonna knit in the dark colors that I love. My socks can be bright, the rest of me will be dark and dim and not autumnal, because that brings into the yellows and oranges, which I do not wear, but the dark academia and goth kind of stuff. Less the bright colors, though these work great for work. And you can't always knit on dark colors because it's dark colors. Anyhow, I'm gonna finish my recollection wrap. Let's get back into the plans. I'm all over the place today. I apologize. Yeah, those are pretty solid plans. I'm bogging myself down with plans, but that's okay, because guess what happens if I don't do them? I didn't do them. That's it. The world will not end. The knitting police will not show up. The stitching police will not show up. No one will care, except maybe me a little bit, because I didn't do a thing that I was planning on doing. It's not a big deal. All is well. All is well with the world. I promise. Well, I don't know about all is well with the world, but I was meaning the stitching, knitting world of myself. All is well there. We won't discuss actual world events, because yeah, no. So there's that. Let's get into stash. I have very little. Thank God. I have my August of the month boot camp. I don't think I showed this off last time. If I did, here it is again. It's very pretty and I like it. So if I already showed it, I'm sorry. It's got this lovely green. It's not really showing up very well, but I like that it's called boot camp because it does kind of have that army green color. I have my floating house because I'm getting all the houses. I have seen the release for the fairy house. It's really cute. And of course I will be purchasing it too. I think I will be starting these next year. I think I'm planning on doing them all on one piece of fabric, but I don't want to start with Santa. This is why I cannot start these all on one piece of fabric when she releases them, because Santa's December. Year ends in December. It doesn't start with December. So I can't do Santa first. So if I'm going to do these, I'm going to do them all on one thing, I do believe, but I need to have not Santa. Santa needs to be last. But I need to make sure that it works that way on one piece of fabric, because that's not how she designed it. And I don't want to have two like red things slammed together and throw off the balance of the piece. Anyhow, enough said. Floating house. And I have been getting the specialty floss called for each of these, because I can get the DMC whenever, or just pull it out of my stash. I did get my next, this is the September Farmer's Daughter's Fibers Sock Squad. It isn't peach. It isn't peach, people. I am very happy. I am not doing this again next year. There have been too many colors that I haven't been happy with, and I have enough yarn that not being happy with my yarn is, well, bad. But I do like this color. Not one I can wear, but I have some thoughts for this. As you can see, I've stopped making the sock a month with these because, yeah, too many same colors. Made me depressed. Made me stop. Anyhow, I think I need to make this into color work in a sweater, because there are a couple sweaters that I think this as the color work would be stunning. I'm not sure they're fingering weight sweaters though, so I have to check that. But there's some Steingas sweaters that I think this would be great. But I think most of hers, no, they could be sport. I could squeak it if it was sport. Anyhow, this just seems to want to be with something else. I just don't know what that something else is. And it's just a basic mini. But yeah, that's my thought for this. Just, it's a tentative thought. I haven't fully fleshed it out. And then there's the last thing I got. It's living in a bag. This I got from work. And I shouldn't have, but I did anyway. We're carrying Knitting for Olive now. And this was staring at me. Yeah, I got a whole bag of Midnight in the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. It's gorgeous. I don't know what it's going to be, but look at that color. Look at that color. Oh, it's just this gorgeous charcoal, deep charcoal. It's a sweater, obviously. I mean, obviously this is a sweater. I just don't know which sweater it's going to be. I think I want it to be cabled, but I may not have enough for cables. Anyhow, I tried to not buy it, but it stared at me all day long. Stared at me. Eyes drilling into the back of my head. side of my head, just staring at me. And finally I went, okay, I'm going home with it. I have so many sweaters I want to knit, people. So many sweaters. I need to knit faster. This will go into plans for this part of my thinking brain will go into plans for next year, because I'm already correlating some of those plans and putting them together and coming up with ideas, which I will share at a later point, not today, because it's August. September, it's September. It's September. You don't need to hear my plans yet. They are not fully fleshed out, but they are beginning to be. They are beginning to be. Right. So that's all my purchases, as is that last one. That last one was a big one. Knitting for all of us not very expensive though, so I mean, like $70 for a sweater is not bad, people. $70 for a sweater is not bad. I just now need to make the sweater. Oh, I should have. I'm going to pull my recollection wrap out real quick again, because I didn't put a marker on it. I need to have a progress marker on it. Lee. Bad girl. There. Now I have a progress marker on it. Doop. I even put a pile of progress markers right there just for that reason, because I keep forgetting to have them, and then I talk anyway. It now has a progress marker on it. All is well. Hooray! Yay! Happiness. Okay. Life. It's going. It's fine. Everything's well. I got a lot knit on a sock when I was stuck in traffic the other week. Yes, I do occasionally knit in the car when traffic is completely stopped, to the point that I had my car in park and the guy next to me had turned his vehicle off. Yeah. I think it's okay to pull out my knitting at that point. Yeah, I do. And I was very thankful I had my knitting, because that took a long time. There was some badness. There was badness. And I was stuck on the freeway for ages. I got a lot done on a sock. Yay, glad I had it. Yeah, guy next to me literally turned his car off, put his seat back. I'm like, yep, I get you, dude. I get you. I just put my car in park and kept listening to my book. Anyhow, that's one bit of life. Last bit of life, I went to the Washington State Fair yesterday. Nope, day before yesterday. It was the fair. It was the fair. I think I might need to put something in the fair again. I did it years ago. 2 years in a row I put things in the fair, cross-stitch wise. I think I need to do it again, just because. But then I have to remember to do it, and that's hard. I haven't been remembering. I thought about it earlier in the year that I should put something in the fair. I was thinking, oh, maybe I could put Namarie tapestry. I didn't. I think it would still qualify next year, though, rules-wise, because it was done this past year, framed and all that. I don't know. I'd have to look at the rules again. So, contemplating that when I was at the fair, looking at things. We bought scones. Scones were tasty. We ate them. We had a proshki. It was tasty. Yes. Very, very tasty. I could put good proshki. And, looked at the horses and the pigeons, because those were the birds that were out. Saw the giant pumpkin, the Grange displays. Typical fair. Went early so that we could leave before it got hot and all the other people showed up. It's the way to go to the fair. That was that's the most exciting thing I've done. I went to the fair. Obviously, I looked at all the crafting stuff. Looked at the stitching and the knitting and the photography, which is depressing me more and more because so much of it is so obviously Photoshop. There needs to be like a non-Photoshop entry for the fair. Photography that hasn't been put through Photoshop to a point where it's not even photography anymore. I would prefer look, it's just photography. Sure, Photoshop for certain things like you would in a dark room. Sure, but not, this isn't even a photo anymore. You just played with it in your computer. And one of them I swear was AI. I swear it was. Swear. Anyhow, did the fair. It was great. Typical fair. And yeah, I already told you that I did that Zoom thing with crafts and books. It was nice. Yeah. Coming up in life, this week is the summer sale at work, so it's going to be super busy and exhausting. But if you want a good deal on yarn and you live in the Pacific Northwest, you should check it out. There's some really good stuff. Just saying, Blue Sky Fiber on sale. Go. Yeah. And then also, before I film again, I will be going to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, and I am looking forward to it. I don't know anyone who's been there. There are YouTubers that I've watched that will be there, but I don't know these people. So I'm going by myself, and I figure I'll meet people. And hopefully I won't be seen as too bizarre, and hopefully I won't bother anyone. Too desperately horrible. And I will enjoy it and get projects, and life will be happy. That is the plan. That is the plan. For now, I'm going to go. I'm going to clean up all of this. I'm going to wind my yarn. I'm going to cast on my socks, and I'm going to edit this so that it can go up tomorrow. And then I'm going to stitch my little heart out on September's return. You think I can get that entire border done today? Goal. That's what I'm going to try. We'll see. We'll see. Seems like some of the neighbors are waking up and blowing leaves now. So I'm off. I hope you all take care. If you have any questions about anything that I was not clear on, which would not be a surprise, my head's been a little chaotic today, go ahead and ask them down there, and I will be happy to respond. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy. Happy crafting, and I will see you all in 2 weeks after Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit.